KSCA, Glendale, Los Angeles. I'm Miralee Kelly here in the Music Hall with technically, I guess, two members of Radiohead, Tom York, singer and guitar banging away right there. Let's hear that again. And offering applause and moral support, Johnny Greenwood over in the corner. Oh, look, and they gave you a microphone, too.
Lucky me.
Well, welcome, Johnny and Tom. Let me give a little bit of background on you guys. Radiohead, in its full form, a group of 5 friends out of Oxford, England, playing music together off and on for, I guess, about 10 years. In 91, the band, formerly known as On a Friday, changed you'll never live it down, changed their name to Radiohead and started, pardon the pun here, turning heads with kind of a passive-aggressive sort of melodic rock and roll. Debut album, Pablo Honey, or do you say Pablo Honey in England?
Pablo.
Yeah, I thought so.
Pablo.
Sold over 1 million copies, and that's thanks in part to Creep, a song that was embraced by low self-esteemers and just the regular record-buying public. The second Radiohead album is out now. It's called The Bends, and Tom and Johnny are with us. Welcome to L.A.
Thank you, Miralee.
Now, is it true that the second album almost didn't get made?
It was getting like that. There was an awful lot to live up to, and I think a lot of very cynical and very paranoid, lack of self-confidence. But everything you could probably distill and put into a bottle and call it. I don't know what you call it, but it was in a bottle.
Well, I mentioned that you'd been making music for about 10 years, but it really happened fast for you. That's a lot of pressure, huh?
It was because it did happen fast. Yeah, because for the first 8 years, ever since we'd been writing songs and demoing, 4-tracking and so on, it was nice and easy and it all made sense. And then suddenly, to be a signed band and touring, etc., and to have a hit record, completely changes the way you see everything. And what we found is we had to change back in order to function as a band again. So it was a long, painful process of decompression, I think, really.
When I guess drunks and unstable type people come running up to you and start singing Creep, what does that do to you?
Usually it's the crew, isn't it?
No.
The band crew?
I find it quite an awkward situation because on the one, this woman came up to me in London who apparently is a famous comic, or I didn't recognise her, and said, Creep completely changed my life, and so on. I said, thanks, we have other songs as well, thanks. But I think that's usually what I end up saying, because there's only so far you can take it, really, and I think other songs that we write deserve just as much attention as that one.
But I'll bet that happens to her as a comic. Maybe she has a character that she does.
Yeah, quite possibly.
And what a cross to bear.
No, come on, it's not. Yeah, all right, okay, fair enough. It's not that bad, but it is very difficult to because you've never seen yourself in that way before, and it's very difficult to adjust and to carry on functioning as a creative person once people start telling you that, because it's sort of, well, okay, I might as well die now, really, because there's no, I might as well just retire to the hills because I've done it, which I don't agree with.
Well, I'm glad that you guys got it together and came back for album number 2, The Bends, which I thought, was some sort of English thing, Nigel's in the hedges getting sick. What is The Bends?
What?
He's got the bends.
Oh, as in throwing up in the hedge at the end of a party.
Is that what the bends means in America?
I don't know.
That's what I assumed. It sounded so like such a beautiful British way to say,
excellent.
getting sick.
No, it's not.
Apparently not.
No, it's a medical term, isn't it, Johnny?
Allegedly, it's from diving. It's about sort of decompression. If you rise too quickly to the surface, you get your blood fills with nitrogen, and you get the bends, aching joints, and such like.
I'm sure a lot of people around here know about that sort of thing.
Quite possibly.
Well, there we go. We learned something new from Radiohead. And why don't you play something new from The Bends? Could you do that, guys?
I can do that, yes.
Guy, Tom York with us from Radiohead.
I'll do it then.
A green plastic watering can for a fake Chinese rubber plant, and the fake plastic cup she bought from a rubber man in a town for rubber plants to get rid of itself. The wares around, the wares around, the wares around, the wares around. She lives with a broken man, a crack pile of styrene man who just crumbles a man. Used to do surgery for girls in the 80s, but gravity always wins, and it wears him out. It wears him out. It wears him out. It wears. She looks like the real thing. She tastes like the real thing. My fake plastic love. But I can't help the feeling I could blow through the ceiling if I just turn around. And it wears me out. It wears me out. It wears me out. It wears me out. And if I could be who you wanted, if I could be who you wanted all the time, all the time.
Thank you.
It's Radiohead with singer Tom York and Johnny Greenwood clapping along with us. I really blew it with the bends. I didn't know what that was about. But fake plastic trees, is that about fake plastic people?
Not as much as it would seem at first listen. I don't think it's. I was actually really just trying to write a song about nothing, and it failed. So that's it. That's as best as I can come up with explaining it, really.
Do you want to talk about the video? I know I know that you have some control over your artistic, your visual image as much as your sound. You did a lot of the artwork on the album, am I right?
Yeah, that's the reason I did the artwork on the album is I couldn't explain to anybody else, so I just gave up and bought the computer and did it myself. But with videos, and we had this whole thing. I mean, we kind of hated making videos up until we made the one for Fake Plastic Trees, really, and suddenly it was, oh wow, the video actually helps the song for once. I think most videos are just, they all have a formula. They're all really distracting and very dull. They even all use exactly the same colours, which I find really frightening.
Well, I had actually seen the video before I heard the song, which is a switch, because of course you always want to get the images in your head first on your own. And wow, I mean, especially, working in radio and being exposed to all this, I've seen a million videos. That is a very stunning video. How can we describe it?
It's Stanley Kubrick-esque.
That is what it is.
Which is kind of the idea that we came up with. Jake Scott did the video, and he rang me up, and he was mumbling on about supermarkets and Stanley Kubrick, and I was actually very drunk at the time, and I think I got extremely enthusiastic, and the conversation went on for about 2 hours, and then we started faxing each other. It got a bit out of hand.
Well, in the video, you're being kind of wheeled around, though we never see who's wheeling you in a supermarket basket, and there's all these plastic consumer items. You talked about always using the same colors. I don't know where you got these sort of day glow colors.
Absolutely, fantastic.
The supermarket of the future, where you can buy anything. I think we're there now.
Yeah, I think so.
Tom's the product.
I am, definitely.
Tom York and Johnny Greenwood of Radiohead with us. How about another song?
I'd love to do another song. I'm going to do a song called Street Spirit.
Right.
Rows of houses all bearing down on me. I can feel their blue hands touching me. All these things into position. All these things are one day slow. This machine will not communicate these thoughts and the strain I am under. Be a world child, form a circle before we all go under. Cracked eggs, dead birds scream as they fight for life. I can feel death, can see its beady eyes. All these things into position, all these things are one day slow. Again.
Radiohead, Tom York with us in the Music Hall.
Head Radiohead. I've never been called Head Radiohead before. That's a new one.
I think to American ears, Radiohead is a very English-sounding group, but
Two English people were very American. Yeah.
yeah,
I stuck over at the Atlantic somewhere.
I can't really put my finger on it, and I think that's part of what makes you so English-sounding is you can't quite nail it. A little bit of maybe the Hollies and Pink Floyd and
Floyd.
The Floyd. Johnny's favourite band, The Floyd.
really.
He loves The Floyd.
See?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, why is it that to Americans you sound so English, and that's probably why we like you over here? Why don't they like you at home as much?
Oh, they do now.
Yeah.
Yeah. This album we won them over, which is rather nice.
I think the first album we kind of shot ourselves in the foot by using the American producers, because the only bands at that time that we liked were the Pixies and Boston bands, Throwing Muses. So we were very excited to use their producer, but that kind of left us falling between two stools in a way.
It did, yeah. I
A
mean,
little bit.
I've always had a fascination. I mean, I don't get the whole thing about being overtly English just for the sake of it, really, because we'd never really got off on that. So we always kind of get a bit stuck, really, because we're not. A lot of English bands just are very proud of their Englishness, and we're not really.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Radiohead here in America. I don't have the details, but I think that you're doing
An in-store.
Yeah.
We're doing an in-store in Tower Records on Sunset tonight. The whole band, lots of amplifiers, and it should be really good fun actually. Apparently, and there'll be a lot of people there, so get there early because it's going to be about it's going to start about 11 o'clock.
Yeah. I would suspect it would be mobbed.
Yeah.
Radiohead with us this afternoon. Thank you both, Johnny and Tom, for spending time with us.
Thank
It's a
you,
pleasure.
Mary.
Thanks.